You're watching Rules of the Game with Bill Krug and Zach Farrell. Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Blaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Hello and welcome to Rules of the Game with Bill Krug. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Every week we like to have local official Bill Krug here to look at some of the clips from the Rough Riders previous week. Bill, thanks for being here again.
You bet, Zach. Glad to do it.
We had a lot of clips from the St. Mary's victory over Shawnee on Hall of Fame night. It was a great night for football and the second week in a row with a great game that came down to the final drive. So let's jump right into the clips. Early on, Bill, just was wondering if you thought offside should be called here, or is that okay from where the defensive line is lined up?
How early in the game is this?
Very early. I think first drive. I think actually this is first play of the game.
First play of the game?
Yep.
Well, they should be telling him right on that play, get back, your head is in the neutral zone. Because his head is in the neutral zone. And
right.
They could have flagged him right there. I think he's actually offsides, you know. But early in the game, you know, hey, get back. Run up there and say, hey, defensive line, get back, especially you number 71 or whoever it was. Tell him to get back. Your head's in the neutral zone. Or if he calls it, he calls it, and, you know. But very early in the game, if it's that close, you know, tell him to get back.
I do think that I remember watching the line judge on that side come forward and start telling some of the defensive linemen to get back a couple plays after that.
Yep.
So must have been an early issue for Shawnee, I guess.
Yep.
All right, we're going to look at this next play. So this is unfortunately going to be somewhat of a recurring theme in these clips, which is number 51 for St. Mary's, Cole Mullins, having his hands up in the face of the offensive lineman a little bit. This one was not called. You can see Shawnee's pretty upset about it afterwards. So Cole Mullins is on the interior line there for St. Mary's, and his hands are up there, and you can see the helmet kind of get pulled off there.
Okay. In high school football, there is no penalty for hands to the face.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would call it grasping the face mask.
Gotcha.
And you know, they're slapping the helmet and that, but there is no, you know how on the pros on Sunday, you see those offensive linemen or defensive linemen get their hands up and push that.
Yeah.
They're not grasping it. But there is nothing in high school football that says hands to the face.
So it can be pushed as long as it's not grabbed?
No.
Okay.
You don't let that go.
Okay.
But there is no, the words do not exist, hands to the face.
Okay.
As a rule.
Okay.
So, but you don't let that go. You call that.
Well, they didn't let it go because they called it a couple more times in the game. So we'll take a look at those clips here in a second. But first, this was an early fumble from St. Mary's, and it was called down. It's going to be Dylan Fink down here, kind of an inside dive play right there. So as he's going down, you can see the ball kind of fall out right there. And you can see the officials come in and both say that he was down.
Wow. Was he down?
I think that he was not down from watching this a few times now. And, of course, we have the benefit of being able to watch it after the fact.
Yep.
But what do you think with watching that?
Well, he spins this way, and his knees definitely aren't down because he's spinning, right? And I think the official just must not have seen when the ball come out.
Yeah.
You know?
I think also, and this is the end zone view of it, I think also if you can see in this view that it looked maybe like he was down, but he was actually on top of a defender, so his knees weren't touching the ground yet.
Yeah.
And there's the ball kind of laying there. The other thing I thought about was maybe he reached in and somehow got his hand on it, so they called it down. But I don't. Looking at it from this view, it looks like Shawnee was on it too.
Yeah,
so.
It does. He spun and he's on top of a guy. So I don't think he was down when that ball came loose there.
So a fortunate missed call for St. Mary's early in the game. This was on on an ensuing kick return here for St. Mary's. Taylor Compton does 100 things right on Friday night, but unfortunately on this one got called with a holding here. So look at the bottom of the screen. You can see that kind of cartwheel there. And if we go to the next clip, we have an end zone view of it, which might be easier to see. Taylor Compton is working his way across the middle of the field on the 35-yard line, then the 30-yard line.
I still didn't pick it up, so I don't.
So Taylor Compton plays, I believe, the center of the first line there.
Okay,
yep.
right there.
So let's watch it from the end zone view. He's going to, on the kick, work his way across the field, engage with the guy right there, and then as he's going down, the guy court. So in my watch of this, he has his arm around his back, but to me it looks like the Shawnee player sort of trips over him or over his body, and they called that a hold there.
Yeah, I can't get a good look at it. I see where the guy's going down. Yeah, I see where it's at, and just keep following that.
It's really hard to see there.
It's hard to see there, but the guy there on the sidelines, he was looking at him the whole way, I'm sure. And, I would guess that he had, when the guy fell, he fell kind of odd. Mm-hmm. And so he probably did hold him. He probably grasped him and pulled him around. And that line judge there probably had the best look at it, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, it's probably a good call.
I agree. There must have been something there that he saw, because from certain angles it looked like he tripped, but then from certain angles it looked like he had his hand wrapped around him, and it was an awkward way to fall. So potentially it was a sort of ripped or pulled down.
Yeah.
So, well, as promised, here's this one was called a face mask on 51. Then I inadvertently called it hands to the face. So 51 right there in the middle. And you can kind of see him right there, kind of twist him around there at the end.
Yeah.
And that penalty comes in there.
Yeah, and this line judge down here at the bottom, he's got a good look at it, just like we do right there. And, yeah, that's grasping the face mask.
Now, he also kind of slapped the side of it there. So could that have gone as a personal foul, or is that okay as long as it was not after the whistle, or?
Well, it could be at any time. You could get him for that at any time.
Okay.
During the play, after the play, it would be the same penalty no matter what. Smacking the helmet is illegal.
Right. Something to look out for there then.
Yeah, and he needs to get his hands down.
Yeah. This next play was very pivotal in the first half for Shawnee and the Riders. Deep pass into the end zone, and you can see the player catch it, and then Trey Moore does a great job of knocking the ball out of his hands. But my question is, did he have it long enough to establish that possession in the end zone? Or, where is that? We hear about, making a football move in the pros and things like that.
Yes.
But how is the possession of a pass determined in high school?
Possession and feet on the ground and they have to, to me, that looks like a catch.
Yeah.
To you? Same with you?
I thought so at the time.
Yeah.
I thought, he made the catch, he took a step, and then it was knocked down.
Now, here's where I think that this back judge, look where he's at. He's got his back. Or he's there. The guy that's catching the ball has his back to him. So can he actually see if it's bobbled or not? He can see when the ball comes out, but and not this umpire. This is the umpire that you got the arrow on now. The head linesman will be coming up the sidelines. Mm-hmm. He probably has the best look at it, but yet there's two players running down there about the 5-yard line. Are they in his way? Did he get a good look at it? It's not always. There's only 6 of us out there.
Yep.
Sometimes only 5, and it's just tough to get a good look at it. See, here he comes. He comes running up the sideline. So did he have a good look at it? He had the best angle at it, but did he have a good look because he had players in line of his vision?
Could he come in and confer with the back judge?
Absolutely, it's what he should have done.
Okay.
They should have got together. The three of them, that triangle there of officials right there, should have all got together and talked it over. But the initial call there is incomplete.
And so unless the other two had some sort of for sure view of it,
exactly,
they're going to go with
positive,
that call.
That's why they should get together. And so
and the Riders were able to get a stop on that drive the next play or two. And so that was really pivotal. If Shawnee could have scored there, could have definitely changed the game. So very fortunate for the Rough Riders. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at the rest of the clips from the Riders and Shawnee Indians football game. We'll be back with that right after this.
You're watching Rules of the Game with Bill Krug and Zach Farrell. Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Welcome back to Rules of the Game with Bill Krug. Thank you to all of our sponsors for sponsoring us throughout the year. We couldn't do this without them. We really appreciate them, not only sponsoring this program, but all of Rider Nation Station's broadcasts. We just had two soccer games this week, big playoff games, and it's really neat that Rider Nation Station is able to provide all of those broadcasts for all the different sports and activities. So thank you so much. Let's jump right in here, Bill. This next play was later in the game for the Rough Riders, I believe it was a hook and ladder play.
Okay.
So a quick pass out here, pitch backwards. So what I want you to look at is at the end of the game, this is at the end of the second quarter, he goes outside to try to stop the clock, but the official says that, I'm guessing that his forward momentum ended, and so they keep the clock running there. Now, I know the clock has to stop for the chains to move, but what is he looking at exactly when determining whether he went out of bounds or...
If he landed in bounds.
Okay.
Is he down in bounds or is he down out of bounds?
So does it matter if his forward...
Absolutely. If his forward progress is stopped, he's in bounds.
Okay.
If he gets knocked sideways, and there he didn't get knocked sideways. He was going forward. And if he's trying to stop the clock, if he runs out of bounds, the clock stops. But this head linesman over there, he should be stopping the clock first, not winding it. He should be stopping it first because it was a first down, and then looking back to the referee, the guy with the white hat, and telling him, okay, the clock's going to run when the ball is set.
Okay.
Okay. So the clock should have stopped. The clock should have stopped no matter if he was in bounds or out of bounds. But then it's going to be a matter of, does the clock start on the snap or on the ready for play? When the referee blows the play ready, the clock can start then or it can start on when the ball is snapped.
Okay.
So he should have been stopping the clock and then looking at the referee and saying, start it on the ready, or if he puts his hands like this, that means start it on the snap.
Okay. So maybe some bad mechanics there then.
Yeah, not the best mechanics.
Fortunately, the Riders had a timeout, so they were able to use that timeout, and then Brady Triplett was able to kick a 32-yard field goal. So that was it ended up a good result. But if he gets out of bounds, maybe the Riders take another shot at the end zone or something like that. So
sure, yeah.
This was the start of the second half, an onside kick bunch style. And so I just thought I'd talk a little bit about, are there any rules about how the kicking team has to line up on an onside kick in high school? Or, when does that become a potential live ball that can be onside kicked at that point?
Well, same as any play. When the referee blows it ready for play, they can be kicked. But now...
Because it looks like Shawnee is not paying attention at all.
Yeah, it does. But go back to the Riders. There has to be, when he kicks it, there has to be at least 4 players on each side of the kicker.
Okay.
Okay? There has to be 4. Is there 4? Can you tell?
It looks like it. It looks like there's definitely 3 up there to the top. I can't tell. Yeah, 1 player in the back, it looks like that was kind of hidden back there.
Okay. And then nobody can be on the 40-yard line when it's kicked besides the kicker. The kicker's foot can be offsides, but his plant foot can be offside, but nothing else. And nobody can be touching the 35-yard line. Okay?
Okay.
So that's considered an illegal formation also. So other than that, just 4 guys on either side of the kicker. The ball has to hit the ground. It has to go 10 yards, and it's free ball.
So we'll watch this all again there, and yeah, you can see Shawnee totally caught off guard and really easy onside kick.
Yeah.
And good play call, good time to do it right there at the beginning of the second
looks
half.
like they had 2 or 3 yards to spare, didn't they?
Definitely went 10 yards, yeah, and not really too difficult. Okay, so we have I believe this is the final hands to the face call on 51. This one from this end zone view, a little bit easier to see. So right there in the middle of our screen, you can see his hand kind of goes up there.
That was a grasp.
Okay.
Watch the kid's head turn. Right there. So
something to watch out for with
and
future
it looked
games.
like he could have just got his hands in there and it got caught.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same penalty. It's the same foul.
And once you've already been called for it once in a game, it's something usually they're going to be looking for a little bit more often.
Yes, sir. And if you watch the game, it's probably happened a few more times that they didn't see. And a lineman will come up to me and say, "Hey, can you watch him? He's getting his hands in my face mask." Absolutely. And not every single play, but you keep an eye on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, this next play was a boot from Aiden Meinerding, and at the very end of it, he goes out of bounds. Some St. Mary's fans wanted a late hit call. I thought when it happened at the time, I thought maybe, but watching it again, I'm not so sure. So he's there on the sideline, still kind of inbounds, and then sort of gets hit right there as he's going out of bounds.
Yeah, it looks like he was right on the line there, didn't it?
Yeah, it's very close, and if
he's still in bounds, and if the guy would have coming from the left there would have hit him, they probably would have got it. But the guy actually behind him caught him and drug him. I would say that's not a late hit.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thrown a flag there.
And then finally, last play of the game,
okay.
And so just a little bit here. Great job by the defense of getting pressure. Sorry, not the last play of the game. I think 2 or 3 plays from the last play of the game. So what we had here was the running back came out of the backfield and went on a wheel route up the left sideline. And
there he goes.
He goes and he steps on the line, and the official took his hat off to mark. You can see right there the hat comes flying in, and then an illegal touching was called. Is that the right? First off, is that the right call? Is it illegal touching?
Yes.
That okay?
He went out of bounds, come back in, and he's not allowed to be the first person to touch the ball.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And does it matter whether he's blocked out of bounds? Or,
yes, it does. If he's blocked out of bounds and he comes back in immediately, he's clean. But he ran by himself. He went off the field of play by himself and came back in. So he's now ineligible. So he's to touch it first.
This was, Shawnee's potentially game-winning drive that got called back on that penalty. A huge change of plays there. But I thought really nice job by that official of, clearly throwing his hat down so he had it marked.
Yep.
And we watched it back on the replay. His foot was probably half of his foot was on the line. I mean, it was not a egregious out of bounds, but it was the right call.
That head linesman did a good job. Did his job.
Absolutely.
And that's a 5-yard from the previous spot and loss of down.
Yes, that was the big pivotal thing was the loss of downs. I didn't realize that. Is that so? Obviously, grounding is a loss of downs.
Yes.
And illegal touching. What other plays are loss of downs?
Illegal forward pass, illegal handing the ball forward. Intentional grounding, and illegal touching. Gotcha.
So huge call there against Shawnee, and it led to the Rough Rider victory on that final drive.
Wow,
so
that was a good job by that head linesman.
Yeah, pivotal calls, making big big momentum changes and potentially huge issues one way or another. So really neat. Well, Bill, thank you so much for looking at the clips. I hope everybody was educated today a little bit more. I know I certainly was on some of those. So we'll be back hopefully with some clips from the Rough Rider victory over Kenton this week. Rider Nation Station is going to be in Kenton for that game. Joe's back at play-by-play. I'll be there for color commentary. Hope everybody tunes in, and hopefully we'll have Bill Krug back here next week to look at some of those clips. See ya. So long, everybody.
You're watching Rules of the Game with Bill Krug and Zach Farrell. Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, Uglaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.